Hey guys, this is Joy from Living Well Music. I'm very happy that you've joined the class today. Today we're going to be going through just beginner basic piano. We've got a list that we'll show you. We're going to go through the C position on the keyboard. I'm going to show you where one of the most important notes are on the piano. After that, we're going to do a little bit of an exercise and try our first hand at reading. A little bit at reading, which would be really, really awesome. So the first thing we need to do is just find what would be, in our case right now, one of the most important reference notes, because we're going to be referring back to it quite a few times. So as we can see, we have on the piano a range of black notes, right? So these notes are actually grouped. If you can see over here, there's a group of three notes, 1, 2, 3, group of 2 notes, group of 3 notes, 2 notes, 3 notes, and so on and so forth until however many you can do on your piano. Right, so the most important thing that we need to go for right now, or what we need to look at, is the group with 2 black notes. So let's look for a group with 2 black notes, 1, 2, 1, 2, and we're going to go 1 note to the left. So here we're going to have 2 black notes, 1, 2, and 1 note to the left, which is this. 2 black notes, 1 note to the left. That is C. C on the piano. So basically we can use this technique to find C anywhere on the piano, because actually there's more than one C, right? There's more than one C, so what I want us to do is just to find as many C's as we can on the piano. So we'll look for 1, 2 black notes, there's our C. 2 black notes, there's our C, and so on and so forth. Right? Remember, 2 black notes, 1 note to the left. So the next thing that we need to go through is our finger positions, right? So our thumbs in both hands are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is very important because these are called our finger positions, and when we start to read music, it's going to tell us what finger, which is it's not your thumb, it's not your index finger, so it's your first finger, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger on so and so notes. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our first finger, and place it on the C. C. Right, so we have our thumb on C. Then we're going to put our second finger on this D. Our third finger, right, which is our middle finger, on this E. Fourth finger on the F. Fifth finger on the G, right? So right now, you don't really know all of the note names. It's fine. It's a little bit confusing at first. The most important thing is that we know C for this very moment, and each finger is on its note of its own, right? On a note of its own. So what we need to do then is just curve our fingers, right? Curve our fingers, our thumb, pointer finger, middle finger, ring finger, pinky, all on its each note, curved as if you have a ball inside your hand, right? And that's going to be called C position. So I want us just to take off our hand quickly and see if we can find the same position, right? So we need to find C, wherever it is, C, each finger on its own note, and curve your finger. Remember the ball in your hand. Then we're going to do the same thing with our left hand. Okay, so this one's a little bit different. We're going to put our fifth finger, which is our pinky, on C. So instead of your first finger, in your left hand, make sure you're using the right hand, left hand is your fifth finger on C. Our fifth finger on C. So C. C. Every finger on its own note, like that. Right. Okay, so then we need to pretend that we have a ball in our hand. Curve your hands. Perfect. Okay, so if we put our right hand back in C, position, we can just play every note from the beginning. 1, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger. Perfect. Okay, so now we're going to try and do some of our reading for today. Okay, so if you look at our sheet music, the notes that you have on your PDF, our first line of music, we're going to go through that quickly and just discuss that with you. Okay, as you can see, that when we start reading, we read the normal way. Well, for most countries, most people, it'll be left to right in the scenario. So when we read music, it's left to right. And we can see that there's a little squiggly thing. That's the very first thing that you'll see in your sheet music. It looks very squiggly. That's going to be called our treble clef. And for most instances, we're going to use that for our right hand. So whenever we see that, we're going to play with our right hand. So when you see the treble clef, also called the G clef, we're going to play with our right hand. Okay. It also just refers to the treble side of the piano, right? We have bass, the deeper notes, treble, the lighter notes, right? Technically, to say that it's only for your right hand, it's not really the case, but most of the times we'll use it for our right hand. So that will make life a whole lot easier. Then, just after the treble clef, remember the squiggly thing, we're going to see numbers, right? So there's a number that says 4, and underneath it, 4. It's almost like a fraction, except there's no middle line in between it. So it goes 4, 4. Okay, that is called our time signature. What that means, we just look at the top notes, and the top note is 4. So it means that there's 4 beats in a bar, right? So we haven't covered bars yet. We haven't covered even a beat yet, but just know 4 beats in a bar. A bar, if we look at the rest of the notes, you can see that the music is divided into almost little squares. So the first line of music has 4 bars because there's 4 squares. In this case, we're not going to call it squares, it's bars, or another way to call it is measures. Bars or measures, it's the same thing, right? 4 measures, 4 bars. So in the first bar, or the first measure, how many notes can you see, right? Right now, we can see that there's 4 notes in the first bar, right? It's slightly a little bit different because we're not counting how many notes are in a bar, but how many beats. So what's going to happen is every note has its own value or its own beat, if that makes sense. So these notes, can you see here? The circle with the line, that's called a note, a musical note. And the name for that note is called a crotchet or a quarter note. Okay, it's worth 1 beat. It might be a little bit hard to grasp, but once we start playing, you will understand what 1 beat actually means. Okay, so when we look at it, we see it's a circle with a line worth 1 beat, and the name is crotchet or quarter notes, right? This crotchet has a line through it. You can see it's underneath all the long lines. Right at the bottom, it has a line through it. Whenever we see a crotchet or a note with a line through it, that is telling us to play middle C. Exactly. So we go to the middle of our piano, wherever we can, middle of our piano, and we go to C. C, remember, 2 black notes, and C. Okay, so what they're telling us over here is we must play C 1, 2, 3, 4 times in the first measure, 1, 2, 3, 4 times second measure, 1, 2, 3, 4 times the third measure, and the same thing for our fourth measure. So we're going to play C, 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 1 more, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so see if you can try and play that. When you try and play it, make sure that there are no gaps when you're playing in your measure. Now we're going to try D. Now we're going to try D. So D is just underneath the long line. So if we go to our second piece of music, the second line, we're going to start a new sheet of music. The note is C, remember has a line through it, and there's a new note, D. D is underneath the long line. So if we count the piano, C and D is right next to C. C, D. That's how it is on the piano. So when we read it, the notes are C, D, C, D, C, C, D, 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 C, D, C, 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 D, D. Right. So always a good idea to try before you play, just to see if you can read the notes without playing, and then try and play them together. And also another important thing is that we're going to try and, while we play, not to speed up and slow down while we play the music. Okay, I want us to try it again, the same piece, C, D, except now we're going to count to 4 in each bar. 4 in each bar, right? So we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, back from the 1 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. So when we read it, we're going to count to 4, repeat, 4, repeat, 4, repeat. And that's what the top note was about. 4 beats in each bar. Now we're going to go through our last music notes for today. So this is the song C, D, and E. Very awesome name. So we're going to try the first notes that you see there. Remember the crotchets? Circle with a line, and it's black, specifically black. This note is on the first long line. Can you see it? In our music notation, it's on the first long line. That is E. 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 So how we find it is we go to C with our thumb. C, D, and E is right next to it. E, right. So we're going to try and read it together. Right? E, 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 D, C, 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 D, D, E, E, C, 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 C. Perfect. Once we have gotten that, we're going to try our last round with counting. So instead of saying the note name, C, D, E, E, D, C, or whatever the note names are, we're going to count, remember, 4 beats in a bar, repeat 4 beats, repeat 4 beats without stopping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, well that was it for today. I hope you enjoyed our first lesson, and we'll be seeing you next week. Bye!